Hi everyone, it is all about the Roaring Twenties with The Great Gatsby. I have to say, not only do I love the original movie, well, it's not really original because there's been so many variations. If you really look into the history of The Great Gatsby, it's a book originally written by F. Scott Fitzgerald, an amazing book actually. Maybe one of the crazy geeks that read it when I was younger. But I do love the movie, the one with Robert Redford, and that was in the 70s, I believe. But there was originally, I think the original one was like a silent movie in the 20s. So, but anyway, it's coming back, and I have to say that I love the 1920s. I love the 1920s and 30s. I think makeup and hair and wardrobe was so beautiful, and the Roaring Twenties was a very elaborate time, very how would I put it? Very ornate. You know, the flappers, and there was a lot of stuff going on with makeup and hair and style. You know, definitely. And the movie Great Gatsby is definitely going to really revive a lot of trends. So I really wanted to pay my homage to the 1920s Edwardian era, and hence the Great Gatsby movie that's just about to come out, and it's got some amazing looks in there. So, and this is a look that I love to do. I always did and always will. I actually have done many projects based on this era, so I feel very comfortable with it. But at the same time, I really wanted to also inspire you all with this look, but also in a way where you can really wear it. So I modernized it just a touch. I think you'll be able to really look at what I'm doing and really wear it in this day and age. So I'm really taking a very, very intense period piece makeup and really modernizing it just a touch so you can wear it right now. But it still has a lot of that 20s feel to it, inspiration. So what I did was I did a really nice clean matte foundation, and I know some people have asked, well, can you show the foundations? If you look at my earlier videos, I do have the whole process of foundations. So, definitely you can go back to my earlier videos and definitely learn the foundation technique. So what I did was I set the face, and I have obviously the fallout powder, and I lined the eyes with very black eyeliner all around it, in the waterline and all around the eyes. And so now I took a wine color, a very like Merlot color, very matte shadow, and basically I'm smoking it out. I mean, that's really the key thing here. And I'm rounding the shadow right on the circumference of her lid up into her mid-lid, so the inner crease. And so I'm taking the flat rounded brush, and see how I'm just kind of cupping the crease line, just going right around. So if you just stayed with this shape, then that's pretty authentic. And then I'll show you when I go a little bit outside of the box with this to modernize it. But first, this is the main technique. I think that it's really important when you're looking at this era and you want to stay true to the era. The eyeshadow was very rounded and smoked out, and it had a good amount of edge to it. They really like to create a lot of mystery, and I think that's why this look was really popular, and it really emphasized a lot of mystery towards the women. It was, the Edwardian age was very interesting because it was right after World War I, and I think, there was a lot more celebratory energy going on in the atmosphere, and I think people wore beautiful jewelry. The women wore beautiful jewelry. Even the men, they wore lots of suits and tuxedos and things like that. So I think, it was a really kind of a interesting time to, I would say, to live, and definitely you look at these reference pictures of the 20s and you just see so many great, embellished things that they did with the clothes and as well with the makeup. And so So here I'm taking, like I said, the wine color, and I'm just rounding it out using a flat rounded brush, and see how I'm just laying the color on, because you want to definitely get as much payout and intensity of the depth of the color. So I want to make sure that I get as much of the shape, because I'm going to blend that in as soon as I lay the color down. So right now I'm just kind of laying the color and just really creating as much shape to the thing, to the way I'm putting it out. So now I'm going right underneath the eyes where I line the black, and I'm just smudging it out just ever so lightly. I don't want to smudge it out too much, but I want to blend it in right below the lash line. And then I'm going to also blend the whole eye out, because I think it's really important to not have, a very strong liner look. To me, it's more of a depth that you want to get. So I want to melt the black into the purple, the burgundy purple shadow, so they kind of go all in one. And see how that just kind of goes right together. So now what I'm going to do is just redefine the shape a little bit more, add a little more intensity, and I'm just going to go right on the edge of the lid like that, and just go right on the crease line and just blend that in a little bit more, just so that you have nice balance and symmetry. So I'm taking a softer, this one is like a softer, I would say mauve color, and I'm going right on the crease right there, and I'm just taking my rounded blending brush, and I'm gonna just put that right on the edge of the crease line and blend that out. Now it is a drastic color difference, that's why I don't want it to have too much of a distinct gradation. This is more to like soften the edge a little bit, but still maintain the shape of the smokiness that I'm really going for. But I don't want it to be so heavy that it's just going to take away from the roundness of the smoky effect. And see how that just softens it? And I think it really, this is really, to me, very 20s right here. This is very authentic. And so I'm going right, I had her suck in her cheeks, I say make like a fish, and I'm going right in the depth of her cheekbone. And I'm using a wine color blush, as I just showed you. And I'm going, see how I'm going from right where the hairline starts, and then right on the depth of her cheeks, like that. And I'm really creating a very sunken feel. Now, please keep in mind that the 70s took a lot of what the 20s did in makeup, and then they just modernized it. They embellished it more with a lot more, like, brighter colors and things like that. But yeah, this, I think, to me, this really is a very prominent look, and I think a lot of eras down the line have really used a lot of what the 20s and 30s did with, the look of makeup, and I think a lot of it is really stayed, throughout the era. I mean, like smoky eyes is so big, and it's still big, and it always will be big, because it's such, I would say, it's such a distinctive look that women wear, and especially like Emma here, who has such beautiful blue eyes, and when you're dealing with a smoky tone like that, I mean, look at how it just pops her blue eyes out like crazy. So I'm taking that highlighter powder, and I'm just brushing the fallout powder out as well, and I'm just creating a little bit more dimension, and just blending the cheeks out just a little bit with the highlighting powder, and it just creates a little bit more soft effect. This is also more my style, like I just like a little more softer blended feel. That's just the way I do makeup. So I'm taking now a powder, eyebrow powder, and with my brush, and I'm just going to define the brows, as you can see, and just really define them and give them not too much of an obvious shape like I would with a very modern, like 40s or 50s, but just going along with the natural shape of the brow and really adding some depth. Because back then, especially the 20s, they really darkened the eyebrows a lot. And I think, you know, it was really like a lot of intense, I would say, liners, lips, cheeks, eyebrows. I mean, they really went with the intensity of all the depth of it with using the darker colors and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, and if you go and watch the movie, you'll see what I'm talking about. How the makeup is really defined by the smokiness of the eyes and the mystery of the eyes. I mean, they really went with the whole mysterious look back then, and also the real shaped brows. And you know, I think the vamp colors were really big back then too. So that's really what I'm gonna do with this whole look, is really creating a vampy flapper kind of effect. Now, I'm not, obviously the hair is very modern because she's got the long hair, but normally back then they would also wear bobs, you know, like very short cut bobs. Like Louise Brooks was very famous in the 20s. She was a very famous flapper model, and she definitely, and silent actress, and she definitely really brought that whole look together. And there's also another, a really famous photographer named Brassai, who really took a lot of amazing photos, in fact, for like Vogue back then. And just, if you wanted to see some pictures that are really amazing from that era, definitely check him out. It's Brassai. And there's also a movie that I love called Henry and June, and Henry and June is another movie that I think has a really great reference to this look. But definitely Great Gatsby definitely takes the cake on this. It's so great. And I'm really, really excited that this era is coming back, because it is, what I have to say, one of my favorite eras. So as you see, I'm putting a very thick coat of mascara around her eyes, and I'm using a super black mascara. And I'm not doing any false lashes or anything. I'm just really making sure that I coat the lashes really, really thickly, not clumpy, but you know, just giving it a good coat and really defining the lashes and really accentuating the eyes with the lashes. And I think that's really, really important. So here is, if we stop right here, it's very, very 20s, just very more authentic 20s. So, you know, I'm definitely going to show you different steps, but I'm going to actually do the lips right now, and I'm putting a vamp color, which is like kind of that deep, very deep wine color. And I'm going to really round out the lips, and I'm actually creating a very kind of pouty effect to the lips. I'm not going to stretch it out. I'm actually going to create it, make it more rounded and smaller. And I'm trying to stay true to the era. I think that's really important. When you're dealing with this kind of lipstick, it's not the easiest for sure to work with. Make sure to condition the lip, because darker the lips, it's going to definitely show up a lot of cracks and things like that. And then also, when you deal with dark colors like this, if you put this on someone who has very thin lips, it's going to really make their lips look thinner. So, you know, maybe put a little bit more highlighter in the middle, just to kind of pop the depth of the lessen the depth of the color, and maybe add more reflection. So, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to make this, I'm going to show you the authentic way as I'm doing right now, and then I'm going to modernize it just a touch so you can make it more wearable with what's going on right now. So, and here I'm just, you know, I'm not a pencil user with lips, so I'm doing everything by freestyle and freehand. And so, you know, when you do that, you got to really be patient, and you got to really work diligently to make sure that the symmetry, everything is picture perfect. So see, I'm just kind of trying to round that lip creating. And this, this is a style that is not easy. It does take practice, but it's, like I said, it's an awesome style. It really is a great application, and I really encourage you all to try it out. Definitely go see the movie and get really inspired by the era. And a lot of great clothes come from that era. There's a lot of great things that come from that era that I think is really valuable to fashion. So my suggestion is definitely study this era if you're interested in doing makeup. And and lastly, I wanted to mention that if you are interested in becoming a makeup artist, definitely take some private training from me, or you can definitely do a blended program and take my online training. The online training has a very intense history involved with learning about the eras and all that stuff. I mean, you have so much to learn from the online training as well. You can do just that alone, or you can do a blended, or you can do just come in and do a private with me. If you need more information, you can go to www.mkcbeautyacademy.com, and that's the best way to get a hold of me. And definitely keep in touch with my YouTube channel, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe and share and like, because I will be doing a lot of different looks and inspiration. But definitely, if you want to get into the real heavy-duty technical training and really want to perfect your craft and get certified, definitely take the courses either online or in person, or both. So here, I'm almost done with the lips. See how I'm really just doing the last minute little techniques here and there that I just want to make sure that I'm getting exactly the shape that I'm desiring. So see how it's rounded and yet it's pouty, and that's really what I'm talking about. So what I'm doing here is now I'm going to modernize this look a little bit more, and I'm taking a little bit of a darker shadow. As you see, it's like a brownish kind of goldy color, and I'm going right on the outer crease, and I'm dragging it out. This is what I'm doing to modernize this a little bit. So on the left side of the eye, it's more traditional, and then now on the right side, what I'm doing is I'm bringing it out and modernizing a little bit. I'm just adding some depth. So now here I'm going to show you the technique. So I close her eyes, and then I'm just dragging the brown right on the edge like that, and I'm just creating a little winged out effect. And see how I'm just winging that out, and this will pull the eyes out rather than round it, which to me is a much more modernized version of this. And I think that's really important that you learn both sides, learning the traditional, which I just showed you, and then modernizing it. So now I'm taking kind of that goldy pearl color, and I'm going to go right on the brow bone and really just pop that out a little bit more. And this definitely is modernizing it as well. So that gives it a little bit more depth, more height of the highlight. It pulls it out more, and it defines the shadow more. And then I'm going to definitely do some techniques where I'm pulling this in, and I'm going to open the eyes up a little bit more by putting the light in the inner crease like this, and just going along the crease line. And then I'm going to just dab a little bit right where the tear ducts are. And this gives it an optical illusion to open the eyes up a little bit more. And you'll see when she opens her eyes how much it does open it. And this definitely modernizes the look. And see how you can just kind of give it a little bit more shape to it by doing that. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. Come back for more. Thanks for watching.